What is going on, guys? It is Eric Smith here, the founder and lead developer at NicheScraper.com. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about how you can effectively test the products we have in our handpicked product list on Facebook. Now, a lot of you guys are not familiar with Facebook. You've never used Facebook before. It can be difficult. It is not necessarily beginner friendly because there's a lot to learn. You have to learn about how to target people, how to set up ads. But Facebook ads can be very, very, very effective once you already know what you're doing. So let's just jump into some strategies and how you can actually start testing these products on Facebook. So the first thing you'll see here is on NicheScraper.com. I'm on my handpicked products list, and these are all products that we've researched and deemed to be potential winners here. So let's click on the first one we have here, which is a mermaid tail glass, and we give you like the descriptions, the title, potential price points you can put on your own website. We give you the AliExpress supplier, all that good stuff. But more importantly, we give you some example targeting, example ad copy that you can use for your own ads. Now, these are just examples and suggestions. Imagine if everybody did this exact same setup. You know, they had the exact same ad copy, the exact same interests. It won't be as effective anymore. So in order to get results, and this is very important, you need to test. There is in no world a possibility where you're going to get a winning product on the first try, first ad set. That is just not going to happen. Or if it does, it's extremely, extremely rare. You always need to test multiple products in multiple interests and targeting groups, right? So if you're not familiar with anything I just said, don't worry about it. We're going to jump right into this here. So the first thing you're going to do is go to Facebook and visit the Facebook Business Manager. And that is what you're going to see right here. It's where you set up your ads and everything. So the Facebook ad setup is split into three parts. The first part is the campaign. And this is where you're going to tell Facebook what your objective is. So sometimes you may want to try to get conversions from the potential customer into a sale. Sometimes you may want to just get traffic, like the most number of people into your store as possible. Sometimes you may want to get as many video views as possible. These are objectives, and that's what you are setting in your campaign level. The next thing are ad sets. Ad sets are categories within your campaign, and this is where you tell Facebook who you want to target. So you can actually tell Facebook, hey, I want to show my ads to only certain people who maybe like dogs or they like alcohol. This is where you tell Facebook in the ad set level. You tell them the demographics. You give them the age groups you want to show the ad to and all that good stuff. And the ads, this is where you're actually creating the copy and the images and videos that comprise of your ad. So knowing that, let's go ahead and set up some example campaigns using this information we have here. So first, what I recommend doing is either getting an image or video that you're going to use for your advertisement. You can definitely use the videos that we provide here if they don't have any branding or copyright information in them, right? So this one right here, it's just a very simple slideshow video with some text detailing what the product is, and that's completely fine. If you want to go ahead and download this, you can. So click on this here, copy and paste the URL, and just type in YouTube video downloader, and go to any of these here. They all work. Paste in your link, click start, and then you're going to be able to download your video. So this is the video we're going to use for our advertisement. It's downloaded right here. Now, next thing we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and create a campaign. Now, the way I like to organize my campaigns is on a per product basis. So one campaign per product. When you come here, you're going to choose your objective. Typically, I like to start with conversions. And I will call this the name of our product, Mermaid Tail Glass Conversions. Click continue here. And then this is where we're going to actually tell Facebook what our demographic is going to be. Before we do that, you're going to select a conversion event. I would recommend doing add to cart to start off. And this is basically telling Facebook what kind of conversions you're trying to optimize for. So you may be trying to get as many view contents, which is basically page loads. Maybe you want to get as many purchases as possible or add to carts. It may seem intuitive to start with purchase, but The way Facebook works is it's very good at guessing who your target audience is based off these optimizations, these conversion events. And purchase is going to be the most rare event, right? You're going to get way more view contents, way more added carts and purchases. And the more optimization events that you get, the better Facebook is going to be able to show to the right audience. It needs data. It needs to build up data in order to figure out who the right audience is. Now, if you choose purchase and you get, one purchase a week, that's not a lot of data for Facebook to figure out who to show it to more often. Now, if you choose added cart and you start getting 25 added carts per week, that's a lot better because it's going to take all those people who added a cart. Facebook's going to look at what common denominator all of them had, and it's going to figure out who to show it to best. So I recommend starting with added cart and scroll down here, and you're going to start choosing who your audience is going to be, who we're going to show this ad to. Now, I give you some great suggestions right here on who to show your ad to. So for this item, we suggest targeting people who are in the USA, targeting females between this age group, and you can set all that information right here. So let's go ahead and just try out some of these. So let's go to female. Now, USA, I generally recommend this if you've already found a good target demographic. But when you're first testing it out and you have absolutely no idea who your target audience is, the cheapest way to go actually is to do worldwide. So you're going to be targeting a bunch of different countries, not just USA, because USA is generally more expensive to show ads for because more people are competing for that country. So I would target worldwide and exclude, get rid of this, go to click on browse, click on regions, exclude emerging markets because these are countries that generally don't purchase as often from my own tests. So we're going to show it to most of the world except for these emerging markets. So I think you can actually click on it and it will show you which countries those are. Where's that at here? Yeah, so that would be like Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, Kenya, Nigeria, things like that. You can test them out if you want to, but they don't generally perform as well in my own tests. Age range, we're going to do 21 to 44. And like I said, you're going to test out these interests. Now, I give you an example one here, but definitely test out your own. If you copy this exactly, you're probably not going to get perfect results. So I'm going to just go ahead and throw in a few of these in here. And I'm not going to focus too much on, the right ordering or, the right interest for now. I'm just going to test out a bunch of them, and we're going to narrow down later. So, and we're also going to create a bunch of different ad sets to test a bunch of different audiences as well. So let's go ahead and just throw in something super generic, something like cocktail. Click on that. Maybe we can narrow down to, Better Homes and Garden. Right here. Okay, so what this means, if you're not already familiar with it, that we are going to show it to people on Facebook who have liked pages related to cocktails. So we know they like drinking. They've liked this specific magazine called Better Homes and Gardens. So they probably like home-related products, right? They like both of these things. So we know they like home-related products and they like potentially drinking. So they may like this mermaid tail glass product. There's an audience of 4.6 million people who this can be shown to. So that's a huge number. And that's good because you want to give Facebook some room to play around with. Over time, the longer the ad runs, Facebook starts learning, okay, these type of people added to cart within that 4.6 million audience. So we'll show it to more of those type of people. You're kind of, with the detailed targeting, giving Facebook some information, be like, hey, it's probably within this range of people, but I'm going to let you figure out the optimization. And that's why you want to give it a good, large potential reach. That gives Facebook some time to optimize, some room to test different people within that audience to find who's going to actually go in and add to cart. So we're going to test out these two, and I don't know if these two are going to sell, right? So we're going to just test them out, and we're going to test out a bunch of different ones. So I'm going to edit placements, and I like to uncheck all these except for Facebook feed, and I like to leave Instagram feed and stories on. I used to work at Instagram. I actually am one of the developers who worked on Instagram stories, so I know that works really well from personal experience. But I'll leave it like that. Leave everything else blank. and we're gonna do $5 a day, and I'm gonna let the ad run continuously, and I'll start it and stop it as needed. Everything else is fine. Click continue. So we just made our ad set, and now we're gonna create our ad. And go ahead and choose a Facebook page that's associated with your store. My example one that I am using for this video is called Nollapop. It's not my real store, but I like to use it for testing different products. So, and also choose your related Instagram account if you have one. I definitely recommend have your own Instagram account and own Facebook page for your store. And we're gonna upload that video that we just downloaded from YouTube. So go to Browse Library, upload video, and then go ahead and upload that video. And then we can come in here and copy and paste this example ad copy here. I definitely recommend tweaking it because, like I said, everyone's going to paste the exact same ad copy. And then if you show it to the exact same audience, then eventually people get tired of seeing the exact same ad, right? So tweak it up a little bit, make yours unique. Remember, 95% of people will fail in dropshipping. It's not necessarily easy, but if there's 5% who put in a little bit of extra work, like changing up the ad copy, creating nice ads, putting in the effort, testing their advertisements, are going to get the results. It's those 5% who put in the effort. So if that's going to be you, then you're going to want to change this, right? Obviously replace this stuff here with your own product links to your store. I don't have this product added on my store right now, but you would add it to your own store using either Oberlo or importing it however you want to add it. Go ahead and change it to your own link. Enter the URL to your product page, and headline, you can say something like any of the products, a mermaid tail glass. That's fine. And go to shop now, and boom, that's all you really need. It didn't show up here because I didn't enter a URL, but that's fine. It'll show up once you enter the URL. So go ahead and click confirm. The link field. Okay, so we had to enter some kind of link here. So I'm just gonna go to Google and enter there. Where is it at? I'm blind. There it is. Enter their URL here. Cool. Okay, so click confirm. So now you created the campaign where you said, hey, we want to focus on conversions for this product. You created an ad set and you told Facebook who we want to show this the ad to. We said we want to show it to people who like cocktails and Better Home and Gardens, that they're females between 21 and 44 years old, that they are in almost every single country except for emerging markets, and that we are focusing on add to cart conversions. Okay, so now here's the secret. Don't just test this one interest, because you really don't know what's going to work, right? You need to test a bunch of different audiences, and there's also 4.6 million people in this audience, so it's going to take a long time for Facebook to show it to every single person, and you want to get through as many people as possible faster, so we're going to test a bunch of different ad sets. So here's what I do. Go to the ad set you just created, click duplicate, and we're going to copy. I would recommend, actually, you can leave this on. Actually, we'll turn it off for now. So turn these off. I would recommend creating 5 copies of this campaign. For the sake of this video, to keep it short, I'm going to do 2, but you should create maybe 4 or 5. The more, the better. So it really depends on your budget, because you're going to be spending $5 a day on each of these. So if you have 5 ads or ad sets running at $5 a day, you're going to be spending $25 a day, which is recommended. So I'm going to do 2 for this video. So click duplicate, and it's going to create 2 more of these ad sets that are exactly the same. And what we're going to do is tweak the interest in these. So let's go to this first one here, and we're going to click on this section right here, which is the ad set, and we're going to tweak. We're going to leave this the same, but we're going to tweak our interest right here. So maybe we'll try another one. Maybe we'll try dwell. Okay, so that potential reach is much lower. I would recommend having higher. You can, honestly, this is all about testing. Test it out if you want to, but I generally like to have it a little bit larger. That way Facebook has more room to play with, but you can keep it there if you want to. So we're going to keep everything else the same. I prefer to change the ad set name to whatever we're targeting. That way, when we're actually looking through it later, it's easier to tell which one's which. for just for organizational purposes. So we have that one. Now we're going to click on the next one. Okay. And we are going to scroll down and we're going to test out maybe House and Garden magazine. So we'll remove that one. And guys, you're not restricted to using these suggested ones here. These are ones that I know have a good audience who tends to buy, but you can definitely switch this up. So maybe just as an example, let's just look at this and just, you don't need to do a ton of research. Just think about, hey, who might want to buy this? People who like mermaids, maybe people who like the beach. I generally like to add one interest that is specific to people who are purchasers. So people who are interested in magazines probably buy that magazine, whereas people who are only interested in cocktails, they maybe liked a page on Facebook related to cocktails. That doesn't mean they're going to go out and buy a shot glass, right? That's why I like to have these detailed targeting here. So just as an example, maybe people who like mermaids. So that's a very general interest. You don't know if they're going to buy anything, but we know they like mermaids. And we're going to choose a targeting interest surrounding people who like buying something. So maybe what is a famous brand that sells like glasses or kitchenware? Let's just type in kitchen here. And KitchenAid, that's a famous brand, right? That's for people who like buying stuff in the kitchen. And I know that's not exactly related to a mermaid tail glass, but it doesn't need to be. We know they like mermaids, and we know they buy stuff for the kitchen, and that's all we need to know. And there's 690,000 people in this, and Facebook is going to do the rest. Facebook is amazing at optimizing who it's going to show the right audience for in order to get as many add to carts as possible, and that's what you want to do. So we're going to change this to KitchenAid. And then we are going to just click save. So we have this last one here. That is the first one that we made, and I'm going to go ahead and rename it to Better Homes and Gardens. Cool. So now we have our campaign with three ad sets with 3 different types of interest targeting. Go ahead and click publish. And guys, just let this run for 3 days. Do not touch it, because the first day Facebook isn't going to know who to show it to you, so it's going to show it to anybody at first, and then as it starts getting data, it's going to start showing to more and more optimized people. So the longer you let it run, the more optimized it's going to get. And that's the reason why I don't recommend this for beginners, is because most beginners don't have a high tolerance to spending a lot of money when they're just started dropshipping. Facebook, you're essentially buying data for the first few days. And for most people, that's scary, because the first few days you're going to be losing money. And that's okay, because over time, it's going to build more and more data about this product. It's going to learn who your purchases are, who your target customers are, and then it's going to get more efficient. So that's why the people who succeed are the people who stay the longest and have decent budgets to play around with. So like I said, I recommend creating a few more than just 3. I just did 3 as an example. I guess these didn't publish. So I'm going to click publish here, and they're going to be approved and whatnot. So what you do is you let this run for 3 days, and then we're going to come back and look at which one is performing the best. And I'm going to show you how to evaluate that once this finishes publishing. So there's still in review. It never published. That's fine. Just let it do its thing. But for the sake of the video, we're going to show you, what's going to happen after 3 days. It's going to start collecting data, and you have these columns here that you can look at different information. So if you go down to performance and clicks, you're going to see information like the cost per click, the click-through rate, things like that. Performance is just going to give you some information like how many people it showed to under reach, how many link clicks. But more importantly, you're going to see results, which is going to show you how many people added to cart, right? And after 3 days, you may not get any purchases, and that's fine, but hopefully you had some add to carts. So you're going to look at which one has gotten you the most add to carts, right? Whichever ones have not given you add to carts, we're going to immediately kill just by clicking the checkbox next to the one that didn't get any add to carts and click on delete. And then you're going to leave the ones that did get add to carts, because these are ads that are obviously interesting to people interesting enough to the fact that they actually went to your store, saw the product, and be like, hey, maybe I want to buy this. They added it to their cart. And you're going to let it run for a little while longer. And then you're going to see if anyone purchased it. So you can actually customize columns here and see more information. So if we go to conversions, you can see which people actually purchased, or how many people purchased, by clicking on purchases here and click apply. And what it's going to do is it's going to show you the number of people who purchased in this column right here. So obviously, if people purchased within those 3 days, that's a pretty good ad set. You want to keep that and start scaling it up. The way you scale it is you click duplicate and keep everything else the same, but you modify your budget from $5 a day and increase it by maybe 20%. So 20% of $5 is $1, right? So you increase that budget to $6. Let it run for a couple more days. If it's still performing well, duplicate it and increase it again, and just keep on increasing 20%. Eventually, you're gonna hit a point where it plateaus, and the amount of money you're spending on the ad is not worth the number of purchases you're getting. You want to make sure that you're spending less than you're getting back, right? You want to get more money back than you're spending, right? But bear in mind that it takes a few days for Facebook to optimize. So the first few days, you're gonna have really crappy results, and that's fine. And the whole purpose is to test out a bunch of audiences. So the more you test, I guarantee if you're testing 20 different audiences and like 3 different products, you're gonna find a winner pretty fast. But don't expect to find a winner right away. If I can give you any advice, is to keep on testing different products and different ad sets until you find one that works. Hopefully that's helpful. I covered a lot here. If there's information that is still confusing to you, there are a ton of free resources online out there. In fact, I definitely recommend going and looking at Facebook's ad blueprint. And this is Facebook's own course about Facebook ads. If you're serious about dropshipping, if you're serious about being successful, just go through this course. It's not that long. They tell you everything you need to know about how to run efficient ads. This is specific to e-commerce. There are a lot of different ways to run ads. And there are a lot more advanced strategies in this. There's things called sales funnel where you're retargeting people. But this is a good way to start. Okay? So start off with this. Find which ad sets are winning. And that's all you need to know. I will see you next time, guys.